From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBIC, the Primetime Capper. It is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. It is Tuesday, the 12th of July, if you didn't know what the day was, but today is a good day. Pretty much full schedule for baseball and everything like that today. Also, we got some summer league going on tonight, and we also have some WNBA going on as well too. So, pretty full schedule and everything like that. But, baseball right now is king, in my opinion. Summer league is good for, pretty much summer league is good for a good analyst of some possible rookies that could be good next year, guys that can maybe stick around in some certain places, good stuff like that. But there's really nothing to write home about. It's just a circuit, pretty much I call it passing time, to be honest with you. So it is what it is at the end of the day. And then we also have some pretty good looks going on and everything like that as well too in the baseball world. So, we got some good things going right now, and it is what it is at the end of the day. I'm gonna go ahead and just pause real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So pretty much I had to go ahead and close the window. They're doing some work outside, so pretty much got a little noisy. So I got to make sure that y'all can hear me and I'm not yelling. So pretty much, because what you call it. It's all good. I can yell, but I don't want to. So pretty much we got NBA max deals. Will keep balance for the league. Will it? Because right now you've had guys sign some pretty monster deals. You had Cat sign himself a pretty monster extension this offseason. That was pretty critical as well. There was a guys talking about where he was going to move to and all this good stuff, blase, but he settled for the $224 million Supermax extension. That means that this guy's going to be getting paid silly money for the next 5 years or so with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And so pretty much with everybody having their real gripes now about players moving too much and want to put together super teams, these guys have actually went against the grain of that idea, and they are staying with these teams that drafted them. Minnesota was able to sit down with Cat and show him that, he could be the future. He could be exactly what Garnett was to their franchise as well, too. He could be bigger than Garnett. He could be the reason why they won a championship. And, they want to keep him there because they want to keep him with D'Angelo Russell so they could have the 1-2 that they never got to have with Garnett and with Stephen Marbury, which was cut short because, money came into play. So pretty much right now, this is a significant deal to me because it reminds me a lot of the same deal that KG was able to receive from Minnesota as well too. And so Minnesota has put their flag behind Karl Anthony Towns, and a lot of people thought that Karl Anthony Towns could possibly be on the move this summer as well too, the way that Minnesota's going. But Minnesota said, no. We done made the playoffs. we can go ahead and move forward with what we have. We got a lot of good athletes, and we'll go from there. Then you have Brad Bill, who's come around, and he's really dashed out everybody when it comes down to pretty much confirming to all of us that he did not care about you wanting him to move on from Washington. He loves being in Washington, and it just pretty much shows right now that, $251 million super max extension. That shows that they're very, very, very into Brad Bill being the face of their franchise. So they're showing these players that they do care about them more now with these big type of deals, and players are being much smarter than they've been over the last decade or so. Now, they said that a lot of these guys that they're mad that NBA players have became businessmen. I think that Draymond Green was not on the money about that. I think that these guys are still just basketball players, but a lot of these guys do a lot of hanging out with each other. Unlike back in the day where guys would just go hang out with their teammates or hang out with old friends and things like that, and then you'll get around to some things, but you might play against some guys during the summer and everything like that, but you weren't hanging out with people. So pretty much, I think that the camaraderie of the NBA has made it to where a lot of these guys want to play together, but then these players are understanding that they've already created a place in the community. The community has their back, and they're willing to stick around for as long as possible. They're going to try. It's not always about rings everywhere you go. It's about the way that city treats you. So then you want to treat that city right. And I think that a lot of people are getting it a little twisted because they look up and they say, "Oh, Jordan never left the Bulls." Yeah, he did. He played for the Wizards. He gave the Bulls the opportunity to bring him back. The Bulls said no. Okay. So he went to the Wizards, put some money down, and played for them, and literally paid his way to come back into the NBA, by being part of an ownership group. So you look at Kobe. Kobe did demand a trade, but hey, Hakeem Olajuwon, a lot of people don't want to say this, he demanded a trade twice, okay? And he held out. He sat out of games as well, too. Now, if that would have been a story in today's world, oh my God, it would have just been wow. But they were able to work that situation out. So these aren't the first players, superstars demanding trades or anything of that nature, or demanding to play on the best possible teams. But people have to understand, none of these guys do it in their earlier years in the NBA. When you put together these super teams, a lot of times now, guys are already past their 30s and they're good to go. You know what I mean? They've already polished themselves. They've already made a good reputation in the NBA. So I think that the league is going in the right direction right now with these young stars saying that, you know what, I don't want to move on to greener pastures. I might not be that ready for LA yet. I might not be that ready for New York yet. I'm just going to stick around here because life is a lot easier. Because if we lose, they still love me. When we win, they still love me. And I don't have to get the papers always going to have my back here as long as I keep doing my job. So I think that the guys are just appeasing the cries for sticking around with one team. And I say to myself all the time, it is a business. And at the end of the day, these teams, when they throw you away, they move on to the next person. So being loyal to a team is very, very tricky. You know what I mean? It's great to be very loyal to them, but at the end of the day, you got to beat them before they beat you. And that's what I look at when I see guys jumping ship, guys demanding certain stipulations and everything to stick around. Because, these guys are, commodities. They're big time players. But at the end of the day, everybody's replaceable as well, too. Okay. So it is what it is. Some guys have just understood that winning an NBA championship is very difficult, but it can be very simple if you are to stick around, be a face of the franchise, and then get the right core of players around you to win a championship. And this is exactly what these players get now. They don't want to go play with old LeBron, who's 38 years old. They don't want to go play with, Chris Paul, who's 38 years old. They want to be the leaders of their own teams. You know what I mean? They don't want to keep getting coached by these veterans they've been dealing with for the last decade. So it is what it is. I really do like the way that these young guys are thinking right now. Take advantage of these max deals. Don't listen to Twitter. Don't listen to the talking heads on the internet or on TV about why you need to go somewhere and why you need to be here and why you need to do that. Every team needs a big face. Every team needs a big superstar, and it is what it is. It's all about location, right? But if these guys make do and they play very well, then they can get all the attention that they want. I think that Steph Curry and crew have actually influenced this new era of guys to stick around and build something with your franchise that believed in you on draft day. So you need to believe in them in the long term as well too. And as long as they treating you right, why run off to the next place to where now you're going to always have questions because they swear you jump ship. So it is what it is. And let's go ahead and get into some fun. And right now, that's going to be talking. That's not going to be talking tickets. It's going to be the MLB Tuesday. Put your money where your mouth is. Now, if you've been rocking with me since the Capcast days, you guys know what put your money where your mouth is. That's me breaking down the best 3 bets that I have for you for the day. And up first, I'm going to have, and I really do miss having my voice here, having my little intro. Put your money where your mouth is. You know what I mean? So you guys remember, you guys know, shout out to my man Tony Harrison as well too. I miss my guy. That was my producer, EP, everything. That guy did a lot of good. That guy used to put the bells and whistles together. I just had to do the show. So pretty much big shout out to my man Tony Harrison. He's doing a brilliant job right now as well too. And what he's doing right now with the doctor work and coaching football and everything like that. So put your money where your mouth is. Let's go ahead and get into it. My first one up is going to be the best bet of the day, and that's going to be in the This is going to be in the Rangers A's game. I think that this is going to be a game that calls for a whole lot of runs being scored because when you look at the matchup, you have 2 pitchers that are well over 5 with the ERA this season, and they've struggled. Otto's struggled in a lot of games, and also Caprillion has struggled in a lot of games. Caprillion coming in 1-5, while Otto's coming in 4-5. These guys walk as many as they strike out as well too. I think what happens today is I know we have an A's team that does not score that many runs. The A's are the highest the A's are in any category is 20th, and that's batting average against. That means pretty much, their pitchers are only giving up so much on that part. But 251 is a pretty big number now in today's MLB. Now, it's just I know you guys looking at me and like, man, the runs, but you have to look at it. I'm looking at the last few outings. Caprillion did really well in his last 2 outings, but it seems like he cannot get together consistent outings. You know what I mean? Even though he had about 7 outings that literally he was giving up 5 runs or he was giving up a lot of runs, over about 4 runs a game. The last 2 games, he's only given up 2 runs, but they played against Seattle and Toronto. They caught them in some pretty good spots as well too. But his ERA has improved. That's one thing that people will look at. But I think today they're playing against a team that's very good at hitting, so-so pitchers. Now, Glenn Otto, on the other hand, this guy is coming off of a much better game against Baltimore, but he struggled in his 2 before that against the Mets and the Nationals. Now, coming into this game today, they're back at home, and he's been getting hit really hard at home as well, too. That's why I'm going over here and taking this bet as the best bet of the day. I feel like the over 8.5 will hit, and when you look at it, I know that they had the over hit last night. I think that we get the over again today because these are 2 pitchers that are kind of set up to give up a lot of runs and give up a lot of hits today as well too. They really do pitch to contact. So it is what it is at the end of the day, and we move forward from there. Now let's go ahead and move on to our dog of the day, and our dog of the day is going to be in Milwaukee with the Brewers at plus 120. The Brewers are coming into this game very good today. I think that the Brewers got it set up real nice. They got Jason Alexander here, so pretty much they are calling out that it's probably going to be a early bullpen day. Now, he did struggle in his last game against the Cubs. He gave up 7 runs, and also over 8 hits, but went 5.1 innings as well too. And that was suffered his first loss of the season. Now they have him in short spots. Now I'm more basing this on the fact that I can see the lineup stepping it up tonight. Now Josh Winder has pitched very well. His last two outings, he's only given up 2 runs. And but he doesn't strike out a lot of guys, though. That's the whole thing from what I've seen. He's only had 5 strikeouts in his last 3 games. So I think when you see that a guy who's been he's kind of cut down on strikeouts and things of that nature, even though he's 4-2, I think that the Brewers are brewing up a nice little upset going against their old arch rival, because Milwaukee and Minnesota used to be big rivals when the Brewers were in the American League. So pretty much now they only play each other so much during the season, but it's still a heated rivalry. So the Brewers and the Twins should be a very good game. But I really do feel like our dog of the day will cash in with the Brewers. So there it is. There it is. And now we have ourselves the primetime game of the day, and that's going to be it's going to be a doozy. It's going to be one that's going to be in the NLE. So don't be surprised, because it's going to be the Mets and the Braves. So Mets and Braves coming into this one on a collision course. Now we do have a Mets team that's now holding fort here with the lead at 2.5 games at this point. The Mets had themselves a 12-game lead at a time, but then Atlanta was able to win 15 games in a row, cut that down. Now they're only down 2.5 games. Mets coming into this one winners of their last 6 out of 10, while the Atlanta's the winners of their last 7 out of 10. Now the Mets did have somewhat of they had an even weekend against Miami, going 2-2, and then they were able to get a good win yesterday against Atlanta with Scherzer on the mound. So that worked out very well for them. The Mets are having a good month, have started off this month decent. They've been able to get themselves set. They've went 7-11 this month. They haven't had a day off either. So the Mets might be on fumes a little bit, because they're not going to get a day off now. From what I see, the Mets aren't really going to have any time. The Mets are going to get their time off next week, to be exact, because pretty much right now, from what I'm seeing here, is that we got the All-Star break coming up on Monday, the 18th. So they are going to play all week this week. So the Mets really know that they have to stay ahead of the ball. Now you got Atlanta, who had an easy weekend, this sweeping Washington. And then they were able to get 3 out of 4 against St. Louis as well, too. This team is playing really good baseball this month. They're already 8-3. So this is a good matchup. And when I look at this, I think that we play another under, because what happens here is that we have 2 pitchers that have been pitching very well this year. And you have on the Brave side, you have Strider, and he's coming in 4-2, 102 strikeouts on a year. He's struck out 23 batters in his last 2 games combined. So pretty much actually 30 in his last 3. So that means that he's pretty much striking out 10 a game over his last 3 games or so. And he's had double-digit strikeout games 3 times in his last 6, from what I'm seeing, 3 times out of his last 5. Well, one coming against Washington, one coming against Cincinnati, and another in his last game against St. Louis. And he struck out 7 against the Dodgers at the stadium. So this guy is dealing right now. At home. So the guy is dealing right now. He's pitching really well, and he's striking out a lot of guys. So that's something that you're going to look at. And I think that they'll get a high number of bettors today, because everybody's looking at how dominant this pitcher's been. But David Peterson's been really good as well, too. David Peterson has 32 over his last 4 games strikeouts as well. He was struck out 10 against the Rangers on July 1st, then came back around and struck out 7 against Cincinnati, but he only went 3.2 innings in that game, giving up 3 runs early, and then he walked 5 in that one as well, too. So that one was a little bit of a shaky game, but all in all, when you look at it, he did have himself a pretty good game. Now, played Miami twice, was able to dominate them, but he was really, I would say that that game was a little funny against Cincinnati. So I think that Peterson should be good today. And I think it works out with us today where we'll get the under 8.5 in this spot. And that's how I'm feeling here. And that's where we're going here. And that's going to be the Mets and the Braves today. It should be a good one as well, too. Another really good game. If I got to pick somebody to win the game, I would think that the Braves edge this one out because this is just how close this series is going to be. I think the Mets and Braves are destined to be in the playoffs this year as well, too. I know a lot of people are saying don't count on San Diego, but I think that San Diego at this point, with the Dodgers literally like running away from them at this time, I think that they're going to have to really, really stay afloat because it's going to be tough for them moving forward to get to this playoff, to be honest with you. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I think that they get to a play-in, but I think that right now Atlanta and the Mets are on course to make the playoffs, but you got to look out for St. Louis as well too, because St. Louis is still 47-42, only 2 games back against Milwaukee. And then that's how you look at the National League shaping up. And then you have to remember the Twins are not that far out; they're 8 games back, but they're close. They're getting there. They're 5.5 back from second place, and they're right there in the mix when it comes to the playoff race as well, too. Because when you set up the playoff race right now, if we were to do the playoffs today, the Dodgers, Mets, Milwaukee, Atlanta, and San Diego are all in. So let's put that into accord. And there it is. You got the Mets and the Braves tonight. The prime time game of the day for a reason. This is about standings, things of that nature. But then you have 2 of the better pitchers of the day going at it as well, too. So, be easy with this game, but don't go too crazy. It's tough to pick a winner here. But I think that if you just watch the scoreboard, you should be in good shape. All right, so there it is. There it is with that. And let's go ahead and get into, and you guys see no commercials today. I just want to kind of shoot through real quick so you guys could just get all your information, and then we just go ahead and get our day started. So pretty much Talking Tickets, here it is. We got our first group coming up right now, and that's going to be the Dog Day group, and that's going to be a good one that I have for you guys today. It's going to be the Pirates plus 125 going against Miami tonight. They got 2 pitchers there that are kind of you 50-50 on this one. Castano does have a better ERA, but Castano is a pitcher that struggled last time out. He gave up 6 runs last time out, 9 hits over 4 innings. Worst outing of the year. I don't know if he comes back and he's going to be game busters, but the Pirates are right now trusting the bullpen, and the last few times out, Chris Stratton has been very good on getting in and out of innings. So pretty much Chris Stratton is going to go up here and he's going to have an inning or so, and then they're going to just open it up to the rest of the bullpen. So this game to me, I think, works into the Pirates' favor because they did win last night, and they have been so good in Miami their last 26 games. Right now, they have a 65.4% win total over the Marlins, beating them 17 out of the last 26 times in Miami. So pretty much this one right here, I think favors the Pirates a little bit more. I know they won yesterday, but I think they'll win today as well too. So I like them with the plus 125. The Reds, now you would say, why wouldn't the Reds be your dog of the day? I want to put the Reds as a dog of the day, but I'm just going to keep it where it's at. The Reds are actually coming in here for the first time this season with winners of 4 in a row. They were able to sweep Tampa Bay this weekend, which was surprising. They got a good win over the Pirates as well too, and they've been able to have a winning record for the first time this year as well too in these first 11 days. Now the month's not over, but out of 9 games, they've won 5 of them. So the Reds are playing much better baseball at this point. You have Ashcraft that came in here and pitched very well against a Mets team. Even though he gave up 10 hits, he only gave up 2 runs in the process. Now, he did struggle against the Cubs before that, but he pitched well against the Giants, and he also, he didn't pitch that great against Milwaukee, but still, coming into that game, he was one of the better pitchers for the Reds all season. So, the tape's out. Guys are getting a little bit of the scouting report, but that doesn't mean that he's struggling or anything like that. I just think that this is going to be a spot where, he's going to be very locked in to impress in front of the Bronx today. And then you have Boston. Then you have Garrett Cole, who I wouldn't say has been struggling his last few games or so, but he did get pretty beat up by Boston last week. And pretty much coming back around, you have a guy that's going to be, but they did win the game, though. It's not like they lost the game, but he did give up 5 runs in the process. Now, before that game, he had been pitching lights out. So pretty much he's always in for one bad game. It looks like from what I'm seeing in the notes, he'll pitch well in 4 straight games, and then the 5th game he'll have a bad one. So tonight he should have a good game pitching, but I think that the game is going to be kept close because the Reds pitcher is going to be in tune tonight too, and it goes into the old adage to where now we got to see whose bullpen is going to be strong tonight. And I think with the way the Reds are pitching as a whole over the last few games, I think that they're going to take that hot streak into tonight's game, and they'll get us a nice little upset here, a big juicy upset with the plus 250. As you guys already know, I broke down the Brewers for you, and the Brewers are going to be plus 120 tonight, and they are going to be they are our dog of the day as well too. So I like them with the pick 4 in the pick 4 as well. And then we got the Angels at home against the Astros, and Thor we trust. Since Thor just came out, I'm gonna bet the Angels tonight because I think Noah Syndergaard is gonna have himself a really good game. Noah Syndergaard doesn't get enough run support. He's not pitching bad this season. He just has a losing record. So pretty much, if the Angels are trying to move on from somebody and get some assets, Noah Syndergaard is perfect right now, in my opinion. You got Luis Castillo right now being dangled to the Dodgers. So as you can see, superstars are going to be moving very, very soon because we're getting close to this All-Star break, and that means that, and the end of the month means trade deadline. So be ready for some monster moves to get made to some elite teams here. But we got a 35-1 ticket going tonight. I feel good. I feel great about it. Hopefully we can go ahead and bring this bad boy home. Last time we had a 35-1, it did cash out. So let's see what we can get tonight. All right, so we move on to the pick 6, and then in the pick 6 tonight, we got game 2 of the Guardians and the White Sox. The White Sox got one of the better pitchers in the league on the mound, and Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease has 133 strikeouts this year, and he's not going to be a part of the All-Star game. Look it up. He's not All-Star this year. The guy has pitched absolutely incredible in his last 4 games. He had 11 strikeouts, 13 strikeouts. He had 4 against San Francisco, but then he had another 8. And before that, he had another 8 and then another 8. So this guy has been a K machine this year, but he does give up some runs as well, too. Dodger game, he gave 6 runs and struck out 8. And, after that, he's been lights out. So, maybe he might not make the All-Star team, but he's making a significant stance as a solid Cy Young candidate this year as well, too. And he's actually just doing the same thing that I would say about 4 or 5 different White Sox have done over the last few years. It seems like every year the White Sox find themselves a pretty good strikeout pitcher. Chris Sale was on the White Sox, got himself a monster deal. Then you had Giolito be one of the better pitchers in the MLB last year, and he was lights out as well, too. Carlos Rondon was pretty good for a time in Chicago as well. So pretty much Dylan Cease is just his time up, and he's been pitching so well. So I think tonight he's going to keep that going against a team that he does pitch well against. And then Connor Pickleton is not bad or anything like that. He's pretty decent, to be honest with you. He's a good 5-inning pitcher, you know what I mean? So he doesn't give up a lot of runs, but he does get hit a little bit. So we'll see how it goes, but he doesn't strike out much. So I think that with the way that Dylan Cease has been moving on the mound, I think that this should be good for them tonight. Now once again, we got the under 8.5 with the Mets and the Braves. I already gave you the breakdown for that. And then I have the plus 1.5 with the Cardinals tonight. I think the Dodgers are in store for a very close game. They played against a bad team this weekend in the Cubs. Now they're playing against a good team in the Cardinals this weekend in St. Louis. So, pretty much this is a playoff preview type situation. You got 2 teams that are mostly in the top 10 when it comes down to categories. The Dodgers are pretty much top 10 in each and every major category. So this should be one of our better games of the night as well, too. I know it wasn't the primetime game of the day, but it was close to being the primetime game of the day. Reason why I didn't make it that way, though, because the pitching matchup, I don't see it as a pitching matchup that's one that's going to really catch my eye. I think this is going to be more about who has the better bullpen once again. And I think the Dodgers win out in that situation as well, too. But the game stays close. The Dodgers got to go ahead and get a save tonight, or they wind up losing. I don't know. But the Dodgers have been killing it this month. They've only lost once. So they're looking to they're looking to go ahead and try to keep the good times going right now. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. But plus 1.5 with the Cards. Best bet of the day is the over 8.5 with the A's and the Rangers. And then we have the Tigers plus 100 today as well, too. That should be a good game. That one was a 50-50. I don't really know why the Tigers were the dog here. I'd have just went 105 minus 115 on each side, but I'll take it as it is. I think that's where it will close out as, if it doesn't close out at minus 110 on each side. But I think the Tigers are good for it. They lost twice yesterday. They bounced back today, even though they're going against a team that has won their last 4 out of 5 as well, too. But that doesn't really matter to me today. I think that the Tigers are going to be good enough to get themselves a good win. Now, the Rockies, I flipped it last night. I had the Padres with the minus 1.5. They wound up winning the game, but they wound up not covering the game. So they did snap a 10-game losing streak in Denver last night. I think that the Rockies come back around and they restart their winning streak in Denver tonight. I like them with the plus 115, but be ready for this one to dip down to about plus 110, probably plus 105 before we get to the start of the game. So there it is, 52-1 ticket with that on the pick 6 tonight. I feel good about the pick 6 tonight as well, too. So if we hit both of those bad boys, then I guess everybody's signing up for the rest of the year, right? Yep. But it's all good, though. As long as you play them and you hit something out of them, even if you just single some, man, that makes my day, okay? So pretty much it is what it is. I know you guys are looking at me like, man, you're not going to do more show? Nah, man, let's just get straight to the point. Let's talk the money. Let's talk the betting. Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? We'll let the other guys, talk. We'll let the other guys have full-blown segments on fake articles from Ballsack Sports. Y'all gotta be better, man. That's all I can say about today's broadcasters and everything. Y'all gotta be much smarter than that, man. Y'all can't run to every story. Y'all look real stupid right now. I'm sorry, but when you got people like Kendrick Perkins and stuff working for you, it's totally understandable, bro. It's totally understandable. But all in all, though, that's my time. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll probably do the same format as well, too. We got an early day coming tomorrow as well, too, because we got a lot of early games. So you guys make sure to tune in for that as well, too. And do me the great favor. If you watch the show through and through, please share, please retweet, whatever you got to do. And if you guys are cashing out and you loving it, and you guys want to send some tips, I do have the Cash App at all caps, $PTSI. And you guys can hit me up on the PayPal as well, too, with popdbic at icloud.com, which is also my email if you have any questions. So pretty much if you guys want to be sending tips, that's where you guys can send them to. I'll go ahead and put that into the cursor as well, too, for you guys. But all in all, though, let's just keep cashing tickets and keep looking good as long as we move forward to the fourth quarter. And you know what time the fourth quarter is for: college football and NFL. But right now, let's focus in on the great American pastime, baseball, which we've been killing as of late. So you guys are the absolute best. I'll be back to you tomorrow. I promise I'll be here tomorrow, okay? And so let's go ahead and win the day. And as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving. I'm your host, the Primetime Capper, Pop DBIC, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.